$H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's TheFlyBoy. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. And welcome to Jeep Talk episode 71. Wealth is not achieved by whoever is the luckiest or by chance of fate, but rather those who are the most consistent. I told you over and I tell you over and over again, consistency will always beat out talent when talent is not consistent. And if you're a consistent person who actually has talent, then you have a chance to change the world. We are here. Let me give you guys a look at what we're looking at right now, y'all. The Jeep is in business. Now, I shoveled most of this last night. Not really the full length of the driveway, but just in front of it, because as you know, the Jeep has 4x4. So I could put it in 4L and easily get over this. I could have probably got over that mountain if I'd put it in 2L, 4H. Then but I didn't want to risk it, so I decided not to risk it and just shovel a little bit out there this morning. Because you know, every time you shovel, they come and they block you in. So I felt as though on days like this, when you see everybody else home enjoying a cup of tea and enjoying time with the family and doing all that stuff, those who really want wealth, they'll find a way to achieve this wealth. Whether even those who are in the house, for example, one of my tenants, she's actually working from home today because she has the opportunity at her job to work from home. Now, now the thing about that is that everyone doesn't have the opportunity to work from home. So, you know, or work from a different location. But most of the time, she does go into work because consistency is key. If you want to be able to, I was trying to get through that snow that you've seen. If you want to be able to achieve things. Now, for me, one of my biggest things that I learned as I was working was that I did not want to work for the rest of my life. I wanted to be able to retire before I get 51. I wanted to be retired at 50. And the reason, let me take it out a low gear. We got over that. Hold up. Let me take it out a low gear. All right, we put it right back in. So we took it out of low gear and we put it back in regular gear because you don't want to go over a certain speed when you're in low gear. But we got out them things. We got out them trenches, y'all. We got out them trenches. Now, one thing I will say about the city is that, hold up. The main streets are very paved. I mean, very shoveled, snowed. So once you get on the main road, you're okay. Now, some of the back blocks are still pretty bad, but I live on a block with council people and people of high importance in the city. So my the block I live on gets shoveled pretty fast and, you know, protected pretty well. But again, I was only able to achieve this through the consistency of working, the consistency of building an empire, and the consistency of everything I do. Like, that's the one thing in my life that if anyone watches on YouTube, or you watch, or you know me in person, or you meet me in person, you'll see that the energy you get offline is the same as online. The consistency is exactly the same. There's no change in consistency. And I've been that way since I was working at 14. You know, I did a little post, you know, a little short, giving you guys a breakthrough. If you haven't checked it already, go shout out to Jay Brass in the building. What's going on? Shout out to my mom. My mom said she didn't want me to do the Jeep talk, but you got to understand how the Jeep works. You're able to just smooth through things. We back. Look, let me show you real quick. We're on the road right now. Like I said, South Orange, they do the roads really, really good. In South Orange, they do the roads really, really good. You see that? So, and the cop would have seen that. But what I'm saying is, the best thing is that I'm so consistent. I'm able to do everything that I want to do. I'm able to travel. I'm able to feel what it feels like to to be a father, raise my kids. Got one of them out of high school on time. Proud of her. My son is doing amazing in school. At the same time, I'm traveling the world. I'm sharing my experiences with everybody, and this has been a consistent thing for well over my whole life. So let's say 14. I started this whole plan. I am at 41 now. So you're talking about 27 years? 27 years of being consistent in all different fields. And does luck play a little part in things? Yes, of course. Luck always plays a little part in things. But the way luck works is you have to put yourself in a position to get lucky. If I just sit in my house, right, and I want to date a woman, and I'm in Brazil, right? I'm in Brazil. I'm in Copacabana. I'm sitting in my apartment, and I want to get lucky. I want to meet a woman. I want to have some fun for the night. If I sit in my apartment all night and I just talk on the internet, it's the chances. Or let's say I'm in Sosúa, or say I'm in Colombia or in Medellin. If I sit in my house all day and just talk to you guys on the internet, there's really no chance that I'm going to meet a woman just sitting in my house. I have to go out and I have to put myself in a position to get lucky. And once I put myself in a position to be lucky, I also have to train myself and stay consistent with training myself to know how to maximize that opportunity that you get. Again, luck is the opportunity, but luck without the consistency of training yourself and learning how to protect how to perfect your craft is pointless. It's completely pointless to try to just base achieving wealth or even base being successful in life off of just being lucky. That's why so many people play the lottery. I play the lottery too, because every now and then you still got a chance at luck. But so many people put so much on the lottery or gambling because it's easier, not them, but it's easier to have hope that luck will put you in the right position than to be consistent and put yourself in the right position where you can achieve that massive wealth or achieve that quality family you want, or quality kids you or quality education you want your kids to have. It wasn't luck that my daughter graduated on time. My daughter went to a school in East Orange. And I like East Orange, but when East Orange combined schools, the education system pretty much went horribly down, especially in the first couple years of it combining schools. And I knew if I wanted my daughter to have the luck of being able to graduate on time and the luck of being able to get an idea of what she wants to do for a career, then I have to put her in a position to be lucky enough so she can make that change. And what I did was I said, you know what? When I got my first house, I don't want to get my first house in East Orange, even though I probably could have. I'd rather get my first house in somewhere where she can be in a good school district. And that so happened to be West Orange. And West Orange, one of the kids that graduated either before her or with her got the highest score on the SAT there ever was. The highest you can get. And that shows the schooling ability of West Orange. But that luck didn't come by luck. That came by consistency and building the funds that I needed to put her in that predicament. Being able to buy a condo in Miami. I'm gonna shout everybody out in the building. What's going on? King of Dreams, Day One in the building. What's going on? Cook Soul, what's going on? I didn't just luckily buy a condo in Miami. A kid from Newark, New Jersey, from the hood. I didn't just luckily buy a condo in Miami, and luckily buy it during the pandemic when everybody was going crazy. I educated myself. I did research. I was consistent on YouTube, looking to see different things, looking to see what was a good price to pay, looking to see what was a good investment to make, looking to see what could go wrong and how to prevent myself from getting making that happen to me. See, this is why we make the big bucks. We make the big bucks because we do the research. We don't just generalize things. We don't just go on everybody. We don't just go with what the crowd says. We don't just try to impress the crowd. We do the research to find out how we can put ourselves in the best position. This is why we make the big bucks. So I got a crib in Miami, a condo in Miami. A couple people say, oh, it's not real, it's not his. You got to understand, there's going to be a lot of people who doubt people, because honestly, when people who doubt people, or say that's scam or fraud, sometimes it be true. A lot of times it do be true, but sometimes it be them speaking from their own lack of belief in their ability to stay consistent. And because a person doesn't believe in themselves, it's hard for them to believe in other people, even when somebody is showing you every single aspect of it. And that's something that my channel proves 1,000%. Because there's never been a point where I hid something. There's never been a point where I wasn't consistent with showing you the actions. To the point where I decided to pay some great people, shout out to Mentuition, to shoot a live stream in a place that I had already been multiple times before. I had been to Cali, Columbia multiple times before, but I paid somebody else to shoot, even though I'm a perfectionist when I shoot, because I needed people to know, listen, this is not movie magic. This is not cinematography. This is not a narrative that's not inclusive. This is live, and it's clear, and it's somebody else shooting it. So there's no magic I could have changed to show you when I did the art of Riz, when I walked up to the women and I talked to them normally, or show you that I was staying in a place with a pool and a jacuzzi in the living room, and it does cost money. I didn't get it for free. But this is some things that I just felt I had to do, I wanted to do, to help people who lack the consistency to believe in themselves, to see past everybody that's doing something like this is a scammer. Or everything, there's some backstory, or there's some like way that he's able to do it, that he did it illegally, or that he I don't know, whatever excuse that people made to figure out why is Flyboy able to do it and I'm not able to do it, or why is it so hard? He just got lucky. He had a rich father who gave him a bunch of money. He had he sold drugs to his own community to make money. None of that is the narrative that is true. But all of it is an excuse for a person to believe that they can't be consistent the way Flyboy is consistent. So that they can't make it to where Flyboy is at. I'm not, no offense, I'm not state, I'm not tall. I'm not the most modest guy. My hairline, y'all know where it is. And I'm showing you all that's possible by being consistent. This has nothing to do with luck. I genetically the luckiest person in the world. Genetically, I'm not just the luckiest person in the world who is the most handsomest. Wealth-wise, I wasn't born with a rich mother and father. That's not the story. You know, I seen somebody say on and it's probably gonna get a little fuzzy because we're going through the woods right now. But we're gonna keep talking. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I seen somebody say on one of my most popular videos of last year. The video where I was in Cali, Columbia, shaking all the women's hands. I seen somebody say, oh my God, he's got to be super attractive model that all these women are just walking up, grabbing his hand and saying hello to him. And that kind of brought a smile to my face. That brought a smile to my face. It let me know that what I'm doing is really, really powerful. Because I don't fit that characteristic. I don't fit that narrative of the guy who is supposed to be getting all the girls, or the guy who's supposed to have the most money in the world, or the guy who's supposed to be driving a Jeep, or the guy who's supposed to be financially free, getting ready to buy a property overseas. Actually, getting ready to go to Colombia next month. I'm not supposed to be that guy based on what history teaches you. But what I'm telling you is that wealth is not accumulated luckily. This wasn't accumulated luckily. This was a consistent act done in repetition over and over and over again, and improving as I go. And when I say improving, I mean learning from the mistakes that led me down a path that I didn't want to go, adjusting that path and putting myself in a better path. That is what consistency does. It gives you the opportunity to grow. Grow in whatever sense you say. Now, no one else can determine your growth but you. Pause. No one else can determine your growth but you. Some people say you mature when you want to get married. But that's not everybody's growth pattern. Some people say you mature when you only want to be with one woman. You don't want to go overseas to get a woman. But again, that's not something in everyone's growth pattern. Some people say you get growth when you become rich and famous and you get all this money. But that also is not growth for everybody. Growth is based on what you believe. And consistency in doing something over and over again allows you the opportunity to find out what growth means to you and what determines growth in your life. It's not about, oh my God, I like how everybody sees me doing all this fly stuff. No. It's that, you can go to my channel. You can hit oldest video. And my oldest videos from 16 years ago, and I was doing the same thing I'm doing now. Just at a less wealthier rate, at a less wider rate. So does that mean I didn't grow? No, it doesn't mean I didn't grow. Learning to perfect what you're good at, or perfect what you do over and over and over again. That's what growth to me means. Now, everyone has a different growth definition for them, or what they think success is. But the only way you can have a full understanding is if you're consistent with whatever you do. Let me shout you guys out, because I see a couple people came in the room, y'all. Let's see. J. Brad says, be safe. Consistency is key. You right, King 81 Day 1. Luck favors prepared. Yes. Chosen One. Flyboy, what's the best way to learn Spanish? Consistency. Here's the best way that I feel as though to learn Spanish. You have to speak Spanish every day to someone. Now, I live in an environment in Newark, and when I go to work, where there's a lot of people who speak Spanish or speak Spanish. So to speak Spanish, I'm back, y'all. Porque es una persona a mi trabajo, habla español. Y ella o él habla conmigo y dice un diferente palabra yo no conoce. Pregunta a la persona y dice, ¿qué es la palabra en inglés? Every day I go to work, I speak with somebody in Spanish, and they tell me another word that I don't understand. And because I don't understand that word, I ask them, what does that word mean in English? They then describe to me what that word means in English. Y ahora yo conoce la palabra. And now I know the word. And that's the best way to learn Spanish. Now, Duolingo is the start. Duolingo for me was the best way. I tried Rosetta Stone, it didn't work. I tried I went to school, went to college for Spanish, it didn't work. I tried a couple other stuff, it didn't work. What worked for me itself on Duolingo is a free app on your phone and using it in everyday language to somebody. Now, one thing that really helped too is as I travel to these countries, right? Like as I travel to Costa Rica, as I travel to Colombia, as I travel to Panama, as I travel to these Dominican Republic, I realized that if I didn't learn Spanish because I was going by myself in the beginning, still do now, I would be in a bad predicament. Because if I'm hungry and I gotta say, hey y'all, can y'all give me some food? I'm allergic to shellfish, but I'm hungry. If they don't speak English and I say, can you give me some food? Maybe they don't understand what it means. Or maybe some people understand what it means and they give me kunk. And I don't know what kunk is because I don't know the word for kunk in their language, right? So they say, here's some food. I'm like, comida, and I eat it up. Eat it up. Awesome. And now I'm breaking out, I'm dying. Because I didn't know, no puedes comer mariscos. No puedo comer mariscos. I cannot eat seafood. Soy alérgico. If I didn't know these words, it could take me down. So that's kind of what made me not only had to learn Spanish by going by myself, but what kept me consistent. It wasn't just luck. I didn't just go to Colombia, to Medellin, and was able to speak Spanish right away. No, 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 no. It's the same way when it comes to understanding how things work. I didn't just go to Medellin and expect to fall in love with a woman because I did the research. I did the research and the consistent to understand, hey, there are some things you gotta watch for if you're gonna give a woman your all in certain places. And there's some questions you gotta ask. Unfortunately, we can't go too much in detail on that on YouTube anymore because the inclusivity is becoming a little bit more difficult. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to be it's not just about acquiring wealth at this point. If you're trying to be successful in what you do, consistency is going to lead you there, not luck. Not luck. Let me see. What I'm gonna have to get some water for that. So let me pull over. That question is tough, John. That question is tough. I gotta pull over and get some water out of the trunk real quick. Give me a second, because that question is tough. Let me pull over real quick and get some water out the trunk. That's a tough question, y'all. And I know I got time, so I gotta pull over and get some water. Give me a second, y'all. Hold on. All the water frozen, no way. Right. Oof. Almost got unlucky. I had to find the water that wasn't frozen. Because when I leave my water in my... Drink water and mind your business. Drink water and mind your business. Best way to get through life. All right. John Davis says, Flyboy. He said, John Davis says, what you think about ISO Speed? He's in Ghana today. Yeah, I just started trying to watch the ISO Speed thing when I can sometimes. I think it's a great thing. I start with that. I think it's a great thing that needs to happen. I also understand the other side of the equation. ISO Speed is a celebrity. So his interactions in these countries are going to be way different than your interactions in the countries. Overall, I think you'll still have a good interaction in the countries. At least I've been to Ghana. So at least in Ghana, I think you overall have a good interaction. But I think the issue is because people don't do the research. They're not consistent with trying to get information. And they go with what is more famous and more known. I think a lot of people in America, especially black people, are getting a look of Africa that is very much different from history and needed, but they're also getting a look not taking into account that ISO Speed is a celebrity, and his interaction is going to be far different. How you accumulate your success, how you achieve your success, how you achieve your wealth is more important than the fact that you achieve your success or achieve your wealth. ISO Speed did a lot of stuff that was that was like a caricature of what they wanted black people to be. To get to where he's at now, he did a lot of stuff that I think it could be detrimental to black culture or even culture in general if I make everyone believe that I have to be this kind of entertainer in order to be successful and get the attention or admiration of the people the way that ISO Speed has it. Especially when there's a lot of other creators who may not have been willing to go to the lengths of eating fried chicken and watermelon in front of certain things and doing all that stuff like that. I don't want to go too far in detail because I don't want this to come off as bad, because overall I think this is the best thing that can happen with ISO Speed, what he's doing. Overall, I believe that's nobody's going to be 100% of everything. You're never going to like anybody 100%. But I think ISO Speed, what he's doing, is a good 80% is up there. 70, 80% worth admiring what he's doing. But I do understand, as a person who's been traveling since I was 18 years old, and a person who traveled around the United States, and a person who doesn't believe that every person, if you want to be successful, have to be an entertainer. If I don't believe that you have to be an entertainer to be successful. And I think that sometimes it can be crucial that if you only see entertainers that are willing to play the caricature of what they see a black person as ignorant, not just white people, just the world's view of a black United States person, or world's view of a black person in general. When you have to play that character to get to a point where you can now show the world, is it worth it? Maybe. But for me, I wouldn't do it. So again, when you say, what did I think about IShowSpeed in Ghana or in Africa doing it, I think it's an amazing thing. I think it's needed. I know it's needed just as much as me and how I move is needed. When I don't feel as though I want to play this caricature of what they think is of black people, I'm just going to show you my real experience, which is full and inclusive. But I will say that if you want to know what kind of experience you're going to have, you cannot look at IShowSpeed and say that's going to be my same experience, because it's going to lead a lot of black people to believing we should go back to Africa and everything is right, when they still believe the story that Christopher Columbus was here and there wasn't no Africans or no black people here before. When Cuba was only a boat ride away, and you see Cubans go to Miami all the time. When Jamaica's only a boat ride away. When Haiti's only a boat ride away. But they want you to believe what Christopher Columbus story say, they brought all the Africans here or brought all the black people here. History doesn't logically make sense, and technology is starting to prove that. History doesn't logically make sense. You know, like it doesn't logically make sense. Logically, you're telling me that I owned the property on the water in Miami. There was a lot of Cubans that just took a raft from Cuba, more than I call it more than a raft, a boat that wasn't really an electric boat. I took a boat from Cuba to Miami, right? You want me to believe that never happened before Christopher Columbus came all the way from Europe to the United States? You're going to tell me that nobody from Colombia came over here? Nobody? You told me everybody that was here in America was Native American. Again, history isn't logical when you really understand the world. When you understand how things are, history isn't logical. And technology, such as what IShowSpeed is doing, is changing that narrative. Shout out to 215 in the building. Philly, stand up. I know y'all going to do more than this. You know, we doing here in Philly, 215. But that's shoveling, bruh. Man, that's shoveling. Let me see. You see? Tommy, what up? He said, preach, brother, good motivation. Each one teach one, man. 916, shout out. What up? Lloyd, what is going on? Love the videos. We're almost at work now. We start at 10, so we start a little bit later today. Gave me some time to shovel and stuff. I appreciate it, man. These roads are clear though. There's not many cars on these roads, and most of the cars that you see are Jeeps and SUVs. Gotta love having a Jeep. I do want to get another car, but I love having a Jeep. Smash the like button. I appreciate that, Jay Brash. Show enough. Yeah. Talking straight facts. I appreciate that HG chilling. What's going on? I probably missed a lot of comments. I forgot to put on all filters. My fault, y'all. I forgot to put on all messages. What up, Fly? Love your videos, the content. Keep up the great work. I appreciate it, man. Look, we almost at the job now. As y'all can see, it's really not really many cars on the road. I think there's a couple right there coming up, but not really many cars on the road. But again, just like in life, if you want success, if you want wealth, you got to stay consistent. I'm going to get to work, and I know there's going to be like half the people that didn't show up. I mean, we can take the day off. I got days I can take off too, but I'd rather use those days more productively. And for me, today, sitting in the house wouldn't have been as productive as me going to work, as me getting up, getting out, getting fresh air, as me making money at the same time as I'm getting to speak to you guys on Jeep Talk. So I decided for me, the most productive way to spend my day today on this snow day when a lot of people are sitting at home, my son doesn't have school, is to go to work. There's going to be half the people that probably don't show up for work. And it's understandable. It's definitely understandable. You don't want to risk, if you don't have a Jeep, you don't really want to risk messing your car up for one day of work. It's just not, it doesn't really even out too well, especially if you live in a hilly area. But also you have to remember, if you really want to build that wealth, missing one day at work might not do nothing, but then it becomes a habit. Whenever there's a little bit of hassle to get to work, let me not go to work. That becomes a habit of taking away from your wealth, taking away from where you see yourself. And again, honestly, most of the people, I only know one person. Shout out to Wanda. I only know one person at my job that retired at 50 years old, and she made a thing about I'm retiring at 50 years old at my job. Majority of people, I've been working at my job for 16 years. I've been in the area I'm at my job for 14 years, and I've only seen one person retire at 50. Everyone else 70, 72, 65. It's nothing wrong with it, but a lot of that comes when people don't want to retire. One, because a lot of people don't plan what to do after retirement. They just want to get lucky and understand. And a lot of people, they have a lot of stuff they got to take care of. Because they wasn't seeing that it wasn't prior to millennials. It wasn't really the knowledge wasn't accessible that you could retire at 50 and you could live overseas and you could live a better life than if you just retired in the States at 72 or retired in the States at retirement age with 67 now. So I don't blame them, because that access to knowledge wasn't available now. But with this access to knowledge, to know that, at 50 years old, I can go to Colombia, live for 6 months, go to Mexico, live for 3 months, go to Panama, live for 3 months, go to Brazil, live for 6 months. I can go to all these places and live a king's life on just a little $40,000 salary I got. And things will change. They will change. But the majority, what's most likely to occur, is that more people will see that the United States is not, it's going to be difficult to retire in the United States and really enjoy your retirement. And they will start to move internationally. Now, will international prices go up? Yes, but they still have a limit. And what's keeping them at a limit? The fact that the jobs are not really over there. The jobs are here. So if they raise the price for foreigners, eventually they'll have to raise the price for locals. And if they raise the price for locals, there will be complaints and people, and then the price will level out. And that's what I feel as though when everybody says, oh, foreigners are messing up Medellin, Colombia. Let me give you an example. Another Jeep right there, my boy. Foreigners are not messing up Medellin. They're not increasing the prices. Prices is normally increase, but there's going to be a cap. And a lot of people don't understand this. We just made it. When people say foreigners are increasing the prices of Medellin, they're just talking about El Poblado. It's the same thing as New York City. In New York City, originally, Manhattan was the most expensive place to stay. Brooklyn, and and this is in my lifetime, if you was in the 1980s, 1990s too, if you lived in Brooklyn, the Bronx, Queens, Staten Island, Long Island, if you lived in all them other places in the 90s and 80s, it wasn't expensive to live at all. The most expensive was NYC, Harlem, and not even Harlem, just the Manhattan area. That was the most expensive. Same way that El Poblado is the most expensive. So when people say the whole Medellin is getting expensive because of foreigners, no. El Poblado is getting expensive. It is the Manhattan of Colombia, of Medellin. But if you go to Laureles, you go to outside of parts of El Poblado in Medellin, it's the same thing as Brooklyn, as Brooklyn was before it became Dumbo. It was the same thing as the Bronx was. It was the same thing as Staten Island was. So your best bet, if you want to be able to retire, you want to be able to be consistently with living your life and building your wealth, is to understand where you can maximize your money. You used to be able to, at this point, you can't even live in Jersey that much and work in, well, you still get a little bit better, but even certain parts of Jersey, like Newark, even Newark is more expensive now than it was when Manhattan was the number one thing. So again, this is all stuff that you have to do to be able to acquire and keep your wealth. And if you do not learn this stuff, you don't do this research, and you just hope that when you retire, you'll get lucky and the prices will go down, or you'll get lucky and the Social Security will stay there, or you'll get lucky and you'll move overseas and be able to just live off of the income without doing the research to find out where to go, where to stay, where it's going to be feasible to do so, then I think you'll have a hard time. Because again, this is Jeep Talk episode 71. Wealth isn't achieved by luck. It's achieved by consistency. And consistency is doing the research and learning over time and helping yourself grow. We'll get to y'all comments and we're gonna get out of here, y'all. Let's see. Silver says, "What up, boy? Love your videos. Keep the kind. Appreciate that, man." Let me see. Dr. J Boston, salute in the chat. Salute the Fly Boys. Appreciate that. 916, retired last year at 45. Once I crossed the threshold where my investments earn more money than my W-2s. Big facts. Shout out to Buck Travels in the building, Cali or Medellin. Which is better for living? It depends on the kind of lifestyle you want. If you want to be with more, I say, cultural, black, indigenous people, Cali, it is very more economical. Cali is way more economical. I was just talking to Lily. If you guys know the channel, y'all know Lily. Me and Lily, we still friends. We cool. I'm not sure I'm gonna make a legacy with her, but Lily and I, we still really cool friends. And Lily was supposed to go back to Medellin, but she decided to stay in Cali because Cali, even for Colombians, is more economical. So if you want a more economical place, stay in Cali. Could it be a little bit more dangerous depending on where you live? If you live in Chipachapi, you're living in the Granada, not so much. But so it really depends where you want to go for. Video King, you wrong, bro. It will go to other parts of Medellin like it did in New York. I didn't say that it wouldn't go. It wouldn't grow. I just said it's the same thing as Manhattan was before, and it's going to spread out. But right now, it has not. It hasn't even spread out of El Poblado. That's why I said El Poblado, that the wealth and the expensive cost of things has not really spread out past El Poblado at this point. This is 2025. Mind you, I was just there last year. So it hasn't spread out more than that. But it will, again, everything will change. Could it become the same thing as Manhattan, where now the Bronx is more expensive, or now Brooklyn is Dumbo now? Yes, that could happen as well. Where Lorelas may become the new Dumbo, where the Queens may now be Barrett-Juca, whatever is next to it. Yes, that could happen, but it hasn't happened yet, and I doubt it happens in the next 5 years. But I appreciate everybody for joining this live. This is Jeep Talk episode. We finally made is episode 71. Luck is not. Wealth is not created by luck. It's created from consistency and doing whatever you do. And that goes for success too. Success is not created by luck. It's created by being consistent in whatever you do. Now let's consistently get to work because it's cold out here, y'all. It's your boy FRE, $H, another Jeep. It's your boy FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why. Just check out the channel. And we at work today. We at work today on a snow day. And this is why we make the big bucks. I'm out, y'all. Peace.